Welcome to another episode of Redesigning Your Relationships Live. I'm your host, Giovanna Burgess-White, with my co-host.
Hello, I'm Yvette Baldenegro.
And if you're watching us and you're going, wait, it's not Wednesday, it's Monday. Why are y'all live?
And wait, it's early.
And why are you live before noon? We have a special episode because we had such an amazing workshop last week. And we decided that we're going to have another workshop just because we had some people that couldn't make this one. We had some people who are really interested in learning what StreamYard is. And so we thought we'd give you a quick, tiny preview. I'm going to be looking at the clock. We're not going more than 15 minutes because as much as I want to give it to you all, it's a 4-hour workshop. I can't give it to you in 15 minutes, but there's some great nuggets and some things that you need to emotionally connect. This is the part of building the relationship with your business, a healthy relationship with your business, creating life-work balance, but most importantly, why it's so important that you create video content and how can you create it once and stream it in multiple platforms, as well as utilize it over and over and over again. And on top of that, we have a little guest. We have a friend of ours who has her own company, and she will now be helping us facilitate these amazing workshops. She went through it last month. She's been working with StreamYard, and now she's going to come on and really just help us on understanding why it's important for branding, her takeaways, and then how we will just be doing these amazing workshops going forward. Did I miss anything?
Yes.
What did I miss?
Okay, I'd like to just explain StreamYard in general for anybody who's never used it, doesn't even know what it is. There's a lot of streaming platforms out there. Obviously, the most popular one is Zoom. We're very familiar with that. Imagine StreamYard, in my mind, is taking it to a whole new level. The reason an entrepreneur or someone who has a business or someone who does podcasting, anything online, any social media, any video content, you want to know more, you want to be a part of these workshops, because it'll take your video content to a whole new level. It will completely change the way you do your branding and your business. So we want to make this available to anybody who wants to understand the concept. And I'm going to say this too. Nothing is worse than when you see an amazing product and you're like, that just seems too intimidating, too much work. The way Gio and Jess are going to be breaking it down in the workshop, it makes it super user friendly, so much so that you're not just, oh, I just got all this information. No, it is hands on. And that's why we wanted to bring on Jess too, because she got to walk through it. She's been diving deep into it. And then she can actually explain what's been going on for her own business.
Welcome, Jess.
Hi. Sorry, I was like startled all of a sudden. Hi, good morning.
She was backstage on this platform. So when we're like, oh, she can hear everything that we just talked about. So She's not lost in translation and she's backstage. So when you have guests on or you're doing a consultation, this is a perfect example on how you bring your guest onto your weekly show. So welcome.
Yes. Thank you. Hi.
Yes, and thank you for being part of this journey with us. I know you are everything branding, love branding. We absolutely understand how important it is for the business, but we love that you've kind of been working with us and then got to sit through a 4-hour intensive and really help clients understand that this is really not only taking them next level, but we always talk about creating content that nurtures, educates, and serves their client. And I think after they finished the workshop, they were like blown away with what that does.
Yeah. I think, I come from a perspective of working with I call them startup CEOs. So you're within your first couple of years of business. And that means that typically you're doing just about everything on your own before you're able to source out. And what I have learned, not only from the workshop, but just through working with you guys and experiencing StreamYard, because I really didn't know what it was even 6-8 months ago. And now realizing that the ease of working with StreamYard, just as a platform that you can take so much time and effort off of your plate when you're able to literally push it out to multiple platforms, because that's the one thing that as new business owners always struggle with is finding the time. But you have to create the content that nurtures and serves your ideal client, but you've got to be able to work it into your time management. So the fact that this is I think that was the one aha moment for everybody in the workshop of I looked around the room and everyone's eyes were like, what? They had no idea that you could literally push it to YouTube, to Facebook, and it's incredible how easy it is to do it. And so Yvette, to your point, like, don't sleep on this. Like, this is something that will instantly take your brand to like this level, and no one's really doing it all the time consistently. So you're going to be like first on the train, which is excellent.
Yeah. As we talked about it in the workshop, is if somebody would have told Yvette and I what we were creating and doing years ago, we would have been like, I don't know what you're talking about. We love StreamYard because of the branding aspect, and we were tired too. But I'm only going to give a tidbit of what you're going to get in the workshop. But what you just explained is literally this.
Yeah.
One time, you just do your content one time a week, and it distributes from YouTube to Facebook to LinkedIn to Twitter. And then this little recycle, I love it. You can recycle, repurpose the same content that you already did once on all these platforms. And not only does StreamYard do such a great job, they keep on adding in more features, and you can cut your reels, you can cut your shorts, you can do all those things within the same platform. And then step further, when we talk about like clients and nurturing and, you know, your ideal client, and especially if you have an emotional connection product or service, now you're using it for your newsletters, for your email campaigns, for those links in the bio, for text messages, for emails. And you would not believe how many people are like, oh my God, I'm just like doing so many videos, so many reels. So I'm like, no, you just have to do this once. And it doesn't have to be 45 minutes to an hour. We're going to teach you like what it is exactly you need to give out. And of course, you know, we're all about statistics. So I'm going to move on to this beautiful slide here. And Yvette can kind of talk about this, because this is why we've all been hearing it, video, video, video. But when we drop these nuggets, you're going to be like this little bomb right here.
Is it coming through?
Yeah.
I love it. Which I love you know what, this is, you know, because we did the workshop. This is true. We did the workshop last Friday. We came in and started videos, and everything that we had just talked about in the workshop started to happen to us, because this is real. The real that we're waiting. This isn't us. This is the Wi-Fi kicking in. Well, maybe while we're waiting on this, do you want to quickly just describe?
You don't see it?
No, I don't.
Oh, I see it.
Oh, you do?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, then it's me. You're like, what is she talking about? I do not see it. My little circle is just doing this. Sorry, guys.
Well, I will go through the statistics because it's amazing. So 95% of viewers are watching videos, as opposed to 10% who are reading it. So if you're doing a post, which are still great, you're doing your carousels, which are still great, 90% of all messages are done via video. And right now we are working with 4 generations, but living with 5. So from baby boomers all the way down to Generation Alpha, the number one thing they have in common is that their consumption is done via video, and they have the highest YouTube percentage. So it doesn't matter if you're a grandparent or if you're a preteen, you're doing the same thing. You're watching on YouTube, you're watching on Facebook, you're watching on Instagram, anything that has video access, that's what you're consuming. So what we're doing is we are helping you with StreamYard, and it is a professional live streaming and recording studio, because I know some of you guys are like, I'm not going to go live. I'm not going to record all the time. It does more than just interviewing guests and just in streaming your broadcast. This is how we do our client consultations. This is how we do our one-on-ones. This is how clients do team trainings. This is where we do our virtual trainings. This is where we record our courses. If we want to do a webinar, anything that has to do with video, this is your studio. So you don't have to go into a studio and get all the fancy cameras, especially if you have team members that are not in your state or your city, or if you have weekly meetings, or if you do what Yvette and I do, if you've been watching us for all these years, we have guests on all the time. And we understand the importance of time, and we know that we can't meet up every single week and be with our guests if they're in town. This is the way we do it. We record once a week. We're live every Wednesday, except for today. And then we use this as our podcast platform, and it gets streamed on Fridays on all podcast platforms. So you are doing all the work now. You don't have to start your podcast, but you put this in your drive, and the minute you're ready to have a podcast, you can hire a podcast manager, or you can just streamline your work, make it a lot quicker. And then when you're ready to really expand on your YouTube channel, which we just talked about the statistics there, it's already archived in your YouTube. So, I mean, that's why that's this guy. Let's go back to that guy. That's crazy, right? So like I said, we didn't know we were doing this when we were doing this. So one of the things that we wanted to talk about today is, again, the importance, I can list out, I just listed out everything that it does, but I think Yvette can do a great job on the emotional connection and the emotional relationship that you're going to have with your business now, knowing what you're doing and what you're giving.
Yeah, I'll just quickly say it's all about ease. You will feel so much less stressful understanding this platform. And I can tell you right now, I've been a user of the StreamYard forever, and it keeps changing and morphing, but they keep adding so many amazing things. But once you learn it, just like any other program, it's super easy, user friendly. If I can use it, I promise you anybody can use it. But the time, it is amazing to me, the time that we're actually really saving. And then my favorite part is when we have on guests, the branding side of it, we get to brand them if we need to, or they really want that. But setting it up is very easy. The cohesive feeling that you get, I guess, because it all starts to make it come together. So then you start feeling more really empowered because what you're visually seeing is cohesive. So if you're feeling more empowered, then that's going to be transferred in, with the people that are watching and listening to you as well. So I just really think the calendar side of opening up more time, which is what we're all craving time right now. This is probably one of the best ways. If you feel like what I do here and then I go here and then I have to post here and I have to go, bring it all together. Bringing it all together is going to save you hours every single week of your time.
Yeah, I'm going to put that back up. See, one time. You use StreamYard one time and it gives you all of this. And I think, Jess can talk a little bit more about, people don't understand, like when you own a business, you want to have a copy and paste when it comes to branding, because people are looking for the repetition and they're looking for the storytelling, and you don't want to be all over the place. I've seen that where I go on Instagrams or I go on Facebooks or even on YouTube and I'm like, wait, they had a show last month and it doesn't look like this. So we do a great job in teaching you like the basics and how we gave the templates for each item that they're going to need to use their video in, and how they should brand it to their colors and all that. So why don't you talk a little bit about why that's so important?
Yeah. So branding has so much to do with consistency, right? When someone sees something from you, whether it's colors, font, name, video, pictures, graphics, if it's something different every time, that erodes trust over time because they don't know who you are. They don't know when you show up differently every time. It's almost like if you meet someone and every time they show up differently and you're like, last time you were super friendly, but this time you're like super not friendly. Like, I'm not sure who you are. And that emotionally creates a disconnect. So when you are able to brand yourself visually, aesthetically, the experience, that's what you're doing. You're bringing your brand to life through video. And when you consistently do that over time, especially if you're providing a service or offer that's more of like a consulting or a coaching kind of platform, then all you're doing is building up that consistency and time and building that know, like, trust relationship. Because if you're providing all of this value consistently, then they know that once they actually pay and work with you, that they already know what they're going to get from you. And that's the biggest hurdle that I think most newer business owners face, is they don't know how to show up consistently. And StreamYard literally like gives it to you on a silver platter of how to do that, and also how to elevate your brand without having to spend a whole lot of money to do so. And I'm all about that. So yeah.
So good. So I want to show this feature because I just did it. Yay! Look, I just commented in Facebook. So once you have a weekly show, which is also part of your branding, like we teach our clients to go live every week, to have a weekly show, same time, same day, because again, you're going to start creating an audience, an ideal client that's following you, and you're giving them this amazingness. So when you're on live, you get these features on Facebook and on LinkedIn and on YouTube and on Twitter, wherever you are, that people can really interact with you. So if you're wanting to do panels or a Q&A, so it's super, super important that you really understand what you're getting out of this platform. And I think the other thing that you mentioned too was the no trust like factor. I'm not going to, especially with an emotional connection or emotional service, I'm not going to really purchase that or buy from that, or even, with us being coaches, make that investment if I don't know what I'm getting. And I think that's where also all of our clients are like, you're becoming the expert in your industry. So this isn't really Yes, long-term selling tool, 100%, but we're not here to teach you how to sell. We're here to teach you how to serve. And I think that's another aha moment that most of our clients got. They were like, oh my God, I've just kind of been getting on because I'm, supposed to be on video, and I've been like talking about my business and not really understanding those pain points and trigger points to where I can have, I call it an encyclopedia, wherever it is that your clients are watching or your ideal future clients are watching, that they can go back and say, you know what, I'm going to go back and watch that episode. So I would love everyone to come and join us. And I'm going to put up some dates here. I'm going to use some more features. So let me put some dates. Did I miss anything before?
No, I don't think so. I think it's so important to understand that there's so much opportunity to do this within your niche when no one else is really doing it yet. So if you can make an impact and carve out time to do this, to learn it, to then it's so good.
And I will say this too, whoever, all these wonderful people listening, takes the course, the workshop, there's things to do beforehand. You learn in the workshop. And when you walk away, you actually have the tools given and you're ready to go.
Yeah, like laptop in hand, you are doing the work with us, setting things up. You're going live for a hot second to test it. Like, it is so hands-on that you feel confident walking away from the workshop that you could go home and immediately start implementing. Like, that's the whole point, is to not create more confusion in your life. So yeah, get ready to work.
So we went live today on Monday because we're going to show you how we can go live, and then we're going to repurpose this and use it for our weekly show on Wednesday for our audience that normally watches us on Wednesday. And then it'll be the same stream. We're going to use it as our podcast on Friday. So how we're using the same thing within 1 week, because it's super important to have one place to stream, but also it's really important to have what I call kind of like your backup. So if you're not right, you're like, oh, I'm never going to have a podcast. Don't ever say that. Because when I teach you statistics about podcasting, you're like, you know what? Yes, I'm going to download the MP3s and I'm going to have a podcast later on in life. I see my future self having that. So one stream is going to be able to do 3 different pieces of product that you're going to be able to watch. And then I'll do some reels, I'll do some shorts. And then this whole week, we're going to feature our clients from last week. So get on our Instagram, you'll watch their testimonials so you can see and hear what they learned last week. And I do want to stress that we have been asked to do a virtual training, which we don't mind. Jess and I are going to do that on 4/6, but we do ask that it's only for clients who are not in Houston. There is such a power of being in person and hands-on that if you are in Houston or in the Houston area, make sure you take the 413 spot. And if you're listening or watching and you're out of town, and for our clients who don't live here, we are reserving the 4/6 for only 8 people online virtually. So we want to really make sure that we hold that space for them. And then if you're here in Houston or in the surrounding area, we're going to do a 4-hour intensive on 413. All that information is either in the show notes or in the comments where you're watching or listening. So we're super excited. Anything else I can add, ladies, or you guys can add before we jump off?
No, I think that's it. Just sign up. Just do that. It's so much fun. And it's like an amazing time. You meet other people that are doing the same thing as you are. It's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. And I've been really excited this past week, already seeing the content that's being created from the ladies who took the first workshop. It's like, oh my gosh, that's so exciting.
I know, it's so exciting.
You go from, I have no idea, to I'm going to sit here and learn, to now I'm literally producing and making my own content. And it's so much easier. What more can anybody want?
Well, if you didn't catch us live, welcome to the replay. And we're super excited to have you here. If you have any questions, you know how to DM us, and we'll be on every single Wednesday live. And then you can listen to all the podcasts every single Friday, wherever you listen to podcasts. Until next week, we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.